This is a serious one. No jokes. This is gonna be a serious one. I'm not gonna make any jokes. No laughing.
I can't promise you that.
Okay. So, hey, shut up, bro. So I'm gonna be talking about a video game I really like. It's called Death Stranding. If you were here last year in my presentation, I talked about one of my other favorite games, which is Persona 5. And this year, I really like Death Stranding. So let's go. Down. I don't know where to aim, guys. I am pressing down.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a brief introduction of the game. What is Death Stranding? So Death Stranding is a video game, an action-adventure video game that came out in 2019. It's made by Hideo Kojima, and if any gamers out there will know, he's the guy who made the Metal Gear Solid franchise until he had a fallout with Konami, which was the company in 2015. The setting and the story. So this game takes place in America 40 years after a post-apocalyptic event called Death Stranding. And in this event, humanity was pushed back to the brink of extinction through the connection of the living world and the afterlife. Many countries fell, even more people died, leaving the remnants of societies and its survivors in isolation. So this is our main character, Sam Bridges. You may recognize him as Norman Reedus. There's actually a lot of famous actors in this movie who plays it. But Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. He's Sam Bridges, and he is a porter, which in basic terms, he's a delivery guy. And he is considered a repatriate, so he's someone who can come back to life after he dies. I'll go more into detail more about that. What is the gameplay? It's very interesting because this is a very divisive game. A lot of people, if you hear about it, it's either they love it or they hate it, and for good reasons why, because it's not a typical video game. But the main gameplay is you're basically taking a bunch of packages and you're just delivering it to people. That's the most basic way I can describe it, but it goes more into detail than that. It's more than that, but that's the basic gameplay where you need to go through the post-apocalyptic world of America and try to make your packages survive without it getting too damaged. So I'm just gonna do a quick plot summary. So
I have a question for you.
shut up.
No, is this going to contain spoilers?
No, it's not. This is just this happens within like the first hour or two. Okay, so Sam Bridges' main goal, to put very simply, was given by his mother, the President of the United States, but not the real image though. But it's the United Cities president. It's not United States because a lot of the country got destroyed. And he was given an expedition. His task was to make an expedition to go from America from east to west because they're no longer connected anymore. Like all the cities and stuff like that. Humanity is not together. And he needs to go across America to connect everyone to the chiral network, which is basically like the super internet. Basically, it uses the supernatural place called the beach. I'm going to go more into it later. That basically makes data transfer like instantaneous. And first off, he doesn't actually take the job through altruistic means. He didn't want to do it at first, but he is going to do it because he wants to do it to save his longtime friend, Amelie. Okay, so my opinions before the game. If you guys are like just in the video game space, you've probably heard of Death Stranding, and it's very divisive. First off, it's just a very weird game. There's a lot of weird imagery, like a lot of there's like a little thing called a bridge baby, where people connect into babies because that's how they connect to see the afterlife. There's also just a lot of weird, like things where like the rain makes you age. People has superpowers. It's very weird, but what actually really got me into it was that it's very weird, but through playing the game, it actually adds a lot of context to it, and actually makes it very interesting and very original for like stuff that I've had before or digested. So the world of Death Stranding, this is like one of my favorite things. So what happened when the Death Stranding occurred? So the world and the living and the dead are connected, and people were not able to move after death. After death, they get left behind as ghosts called BTs, beach things. And also after Death Stranding, it introduced a thing called chiralium, which is like some material from the other side that has some time-altering properties. A beach thing. So these are entities whose soul are stranded in the world of the living following the events of Death Stranding. Their true nature is unclear, but they're always hostile to living creatures. There's a little, like, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does, but if a human dies and it's not incinerated within 48 hours, they become a BT. And this is what they kind of look like. They kind of look like spectral ghost creatures right here. They're made out of tar, and they're just like ghosts, and they try to get you whenever you're going around. And the way you avoid them is you have to hold your breath like this. You can't breathe around them because they're attracted by living people. And there's a couple of other BTs. So usually they come in like that as like humans, but they also come in very beach themes. So like there's a whale, there's like this weird tentacle monsters and stuff like that. It's very themed on just like a beach, basically. And this is what like an artist rendition of it is. In the game, there's a scientist who's like, this is what it looks like, a BT, but this is the way they think it looks like. Also, people are bombs. So BTs, basically, if they consume a living being, people will explode. So when the Death Stranding first happening, there was explosions happening all over the world. Governments thought that like we were being bombed by a terrorist and stuff like that, but people were just exploding. And this is basically kind of like what it would look like. This huge crater will happen if a BT gets you. You just explode. And that's why a lot of the population had to hide away, is because BTs would get them, or also they would just, they're the only survivors left, and they have to do that. And then here's the beach babies thing I was talking about. So a bridge baby is a 7-month fetus removed via a C-section from a brain-dead mother. And what it does basically is it's able to connect a living being, or I don't know how to say this, but like, since a baby is kind of like in between like the living and the dead, kind of, they're able to make a connection so that they can see these other people from the other side. So it kind of looks like this. This is our little baby that we have, and yeah, look at him. He's right there, and he helps us see the babies. We have like a device right here that's able to like physically show like the BTs, because most of the time, people who have this thing called dooms, they can sense a BT. But if you didn't have that, there's no way to really tell, and you use these guys to be able to see it. And this is again what they look like. Timefall. So this is one of the coolest things in this world. After the Death Stranding happened and the introduction of Corellium, which I mentioned earlier, there's this phenomenon where whenever it rains, whenever the rain touches, it ages something. So you can literally be raining and you can see a plant grow from the crop all the way to a full plant and then die within like 10 seconds. Or like if it touches you, you rapidly age and become old. It only occurs when the rain touches it. And the main reasons why like Sam being a porter is so important is because technology like nowadays cannot survive timefall. We can't use machines or any kind of drones or anything like that into this world, because when the rain touches it, it'll disintegrate. So that's why humans like Sam is so important, because he's able to deliver to people who need stuff. And there's also some good things too. Farmers use it to like make crops grow a lot faster than they usually do. What would take for a year would probably take like a couple months. And in addition to timefall, it's also like any kind of precipitation, so like snow as well. And I have like a small video that kind of demonstrates how it is. Is there no sound, or is it fine?
Oh, it's not.
It's fine. But you basically saw when like the timefall was about to come, all the birds started dying. You saw the bird die and age all gray, and you saw like the plants grow, hopefully. Yeah, and the porter is what Sam is. So yeah, it basically made air travel impossible. So now we rely on humans to be able to make deliveries. Also, a lot of people became porters because this is actually very interesting, because this game came out in 2019. In 2020, a lot of people during the pandemic became isolated again. So this kind of became a very relatable thing at the time, where in this case, it's like 40 years after it happened. So imagine us like doing a year or two of this. This is 40 years, and people want the need to like feel like they're wanted, to be needed, and they need to have like, they need to take like some, they have deficiencies of like brain. What the fuck is that thing called? I forget what it's called. But basically, you're not getting what you need to like really properly survive, like mentally wise. Yeah, and Corellium kind of comes up after rain. It kind of looks like this gold and stuff like that. All right, beaches. So, I got this from Reddit, like a Reddit comment, because I couldn't really explain it the best, so I just want to make it known that I kind of copied this from someone. Okay, so beaches. If you're familiar with like the concept of like purgatory or limbo, it's kind of the same thing as that. So like purgatory, it essentially is supposed to be, a beach is supposed to be a transitional place. So it's supposed to be the transitional space between the living and the dead. However, after the Death Stranding, it also functions as limbo, where people's soul. Oh, I fucked up. Sorry. One sec. Okay, yeah. However, because of Death Stranding, it also functions like a limbo, where people's souls become stuck outside the normal cycle and transition of life and death. The big difference is that unlike Purgatory and Limbo, the beaches are considered personalized spaces. So generally speaking, every person has their own beach and form by their own thoughts and beliefs. So if you believe in heaven or hell, that's where your beach is going to be. If you believe in the cycle of rebirth, that was where your beach is going to be. That's why it's kind of like a multiverse kind of deal, where whatever you believe the afterlife is going to be, that is what your beach is going to be. And you can only come to their own beach, basically whatever you believe is the afterlife of the beach, yeah. And so for example, this is what Dylan's beach would look like with his friends and with his best friend, Houdini. And basically, so, okay. The seam. So this is the seam. When you talk about the afterlife, so first you die, then you go into the seam, and then you go into a beach, and then you end up in the afterlife. So the seam is a portal between the world of the living and the world of the dead, and it connects to all the beaches. It connects everything. The same way our oceans connects all of our world and our beaches, the seam connects the worlds to those various beaches. So basically when you die, you end up in the ocean and then you end up on your own beach eventually. And since if you think of it like that, that means no matter where you're at, you can go to other people's beaches too, because you can wash up into wherever else. So I'm just gonna go into just how death works now. So when someone dies, your soul is cast into the seam or the ocean. They wash up on their own beach, caught between the living and the dead. And they're unable to pass on because they are tethered to the world of the living. They're stranded on their beach. If the tether is not broken, they become a beach thing, a BT. And again, this is what they look like again. Yeah, and it becomes their own personal limbo. So gameplay. This is the most divisive. So you're basically going through. The reason why I like this game so much is that it just kind of feels like hiking. You know, it's just a very relaxing thing to just be able to just go on different terrain and just explore the world. And this game is really, really pretty. So you have to decide like what you're gonna bring. Like, am I going up a mountain? Do I need to bring a ladder? Do I need to bring a rope if there's something? Do I need to bring a gun if I'm gonna fight someone? It's like these things you just think about. And here's over here with the snow. Sometimes you're not gonna have enough space, so you need to bring a little thing to go with you. This is what it looks like when you carry all your packages. You have to decide like if you can fit all of it on your back or not, or if you need to put it into a vehicle. It can get like this big at some point. It's very hard to control, but it's pretty fun still. Yeah, and there's a bike too, where you can also do that as well to have. And basically it's kind of like, the reason why I like this game is it kind of feels like a puzzle. Like everything is just a puzzle, from like what you're gonna bring to like where you're gonna go. So say I'm gonna start from right here and I need to deliver a package over here. Well, maybe I can stop by and go over here, get another package, so I also get over here. It's just like micromanaging, and it's kind of like a fun way to kind of like, it just gamifies of like, I want to be efficient as I can and make sure I hit all these spots. And I remember the time it kind of hit me where like, I remember I was only putting like 2 hours into the game every session, but then something clicked and I was putting like 5 to 6 hours each session because I was so obsessed with like just trying to like get from one place to the other in the most efficient way and just try to like get all my packages and stuff. It's very weird because it's a video game, but like this is why it was always so interesting to me. Yeah, and this is more of the map. Sometimes you could go into combat. So like these people are called mules. And notice that they're using like electric batons because like I said, if you kill someone and they don't get incinerated, they explode. So they have to use non-lethal ways to take these people down. And the way you also do that too is that you also use like guns that have rubber bullets and stuff like that too to knock them out. And then also, this is kind of hard to see, but the thing about beaches too that's pretty interesting is that if a bunch of people die around the same area and are feeling the same thing, so like a war zone, they can end up in a beach that is literally just a war zone, which you're just fighting for eternity. And in these cutscenes, you'll just see like soldiers fighting and fighting and fighting because they all died around the same time, and that's where they're stuck in now. Yeah, and this is like crossing like over some terrain. You have the reason why it's like red, yellow, and blue is to show like which terrain is easier to walk on. And sometimes you're gonna need to improvise and like use bridges, makeshift bridges and stuff to get across. And there will be places around. So this game is kind of pseudo multiplayer where you can actually see structures from other people that build it. And the reason why I remember the first time I saw this, like, why is there a like system? So you can like stuff in the game that other people build. It's because in the lore, people don't get likes in their regular life because they're sheltered. So getting a like means you're giving them like a dopamine rush, basically. And it was like a fun little like they gamified it, but it was like a fun way to have like an in-game lore thing to why they did that. Yeah, so people can just like leave ladders and stuff like that, and like sometimes they'll leave bridges for you and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and I really like the gameplay because it just feels like a big puzzle all the time, and it's like keeping me engaged, and I'm really thinking a lot. Yeah, and here's more of the map. I think I was gonna explain like the whole like where I'm gonna go, but I feel like I already did that already. And the other thing I was really interested in was the characters. The characters are really interesting in this game, but one of the characters I really want to talk about. Actually, first, yeah, these are like some of the main characters. So you got a guy who's, if you know Guillermo del Toro, he used his body as this one. His name is Dead Man. He doesn't have a beach because his organs were all from other people. So he doesn't have a beach. He's a little bit interesting in that one. This guy's named Hartman. I thought this guy was a fucking nerd when I saw him in the game, but he's actually the most compelling character. So every 21 minutes, he induces a heart attack for himself so he can die, go to the beach for 3 minutes, and then gets resuscitated back. And he does that over and over again because he lost his wife, and he's, he lost his wife and he's trying to go to the beach to try to find where he is because he's a beach scientist, and he's the lead researcher to like why he's trying to find his family. And then this lady is named Mama. She's played by Margaret Qualley, who's like a pretty up-and-coming actress right now. And what makes her interesting is that she has a BT who's actually her baby that passed away. So she can't leave because her baby is connected to her as like a little spectral creature, as a baby. Really interesting. But the main character I really want to talk about is the soldier, or Cliff Unger. He's played by Mads Mikkelsen, who's Hannibal, and some other movies. He's really cool. He's like one of the main antagonists of the game. He chases after you for a reason you don't really know why. And he's just so cool. He's the reason why I wanted to get the game in the first place back when I saw the trailer like in 2017. And I'm gonna play a video. So right now they're in the beach right now. I was talking about where it's like a war. He's so cool. He's like, I don't know, the edginess of what I have like when I was a kid, it just fits. He's just like such a cool character. He controls undead soldiers and commands them to go after you. He has these powers and stuff like that. He aura farms all the time. He's really cool. Okay. And I'm gonna be talking about my opinions after the game. So it actually ended up becoming like one of my favorite games of all time, which was surprising because I came into this game being like, okay, I'm probably gonna like it, see what it is, but it just blew me away with that. Like the story was really unique, everything's really original, the world is really cool, the music is really cool too. There'll be times where you're just hiking around in a mountain and a song will just play, and when that happens, it just feels so cool to like see. The gameplay was really fun too. Like I said, it's like a puzzle. It's definitely one of my more memorable single-player game experiences since Persona 5, which is the one I talked about before. And it did kind of revitalize my interest in video games again because I don't know why. I think it's just me getting older and like getting my hobbies not interesting me as much before. But like video games hasn't been really doing it for me lately. And this game actually kind of brought me back because it kind of defined like what my interests are even more. Because since it was such a divisive game, I ended up liking it. I just know myself a little bit more. That's why I really liked it as much. And to end it, if I didn't really interest you in what I was talking about, I would say that someone was interested in it, and that's, you can't see it, but that's Alex. I somehow convinced Alex to download the game, and if you know Alex, it takes a lot to really get introduced to like something like that.
To see if it, no, block the light.
Huh? Oh,
Just turn it off. Just switch it back.
is there? Yeah, if you know Alex, he's really hard to convince to like something, and I got a seal of approval.
Alex, you finished the game.
No. It's long.
18 hours.
All right, that's my presentation. Thank you. Any questions?
Play the second one?
No, it's not on fucking PC. It's a PlayStation exclusive for now, so I'm waiting for it. That's actually the reason why I wanted to play the first one because I saw the trailer and it was really cool.
I don't know if I or not. You can put BC in.
If you just die, and if your body isn't burned, you become a BT.
And then you said that the range was acidic or something like that?
It's not acidic. It's just like a weird property it has where if the rain just touches you, you become older.
So can you have older than
You can. There are times where people will literally just die from old age because they got caught out in the rain and they didn't have any protective gear.
How long did it take you to finish the game?
60 hours.
Like how?
You guys are surprised, but that's nothing. Nothing. Sorry?
Weeks, months?
I think I beat it within like a 2-month span, I think, very on and off. Like with the last, like I think 30 hours, I was able to like do in like a week or two because I got really into it.
How does this rank compare to Persona 5?
Ooh, I don't know. It's probably like 2 or 3. I sometimes think of my lists. It's really up there. Yeah, for sure.
And where's Persona 5?
What's your most hated game?
Huh?
What's your most hated game?
My most hated game? There was like this really bad anime MMO that I played with Raymond a really long time ago. It was really bad. I don't remember what it was. That's how bad it was. Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right.